It's still got the weird light. Can you tell which ones are weird? Yeah. Still looks a little strange. Well, I'm getting ready to go out to the field. I just woke up. Got the big lines under my eyes. We're going to go ahead and take this out. Somebody was saying that this weighs too much. These are aluminum nails, and that camera barely weighs anything. I honestly don't feel I've added very much weight to this at all. This is a really nice setup. So, let's take this out to the field. I don't know if it's windy. It is pretty windy. I think we'll be fine. We'll take things real easy and slow and see what happens. But I guess I should have contemplated that there might be some wind today. I didn't. It is what it is. We're going to take this out there for a flight. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a sec. So I'm at my place that I originally tested the Hubsan X4 H501S. And I'm a little worried because it is kind of windy out today. I don't know how this small quad's going to handle wind. So I'm going to go ahead and try to fly over in this area. I know I won't be able to go very far. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to start over here and go all the way to the end of the field. But unfortunately with this wind, I kind of want to stay where the trees are blocking everything. And see how the FPV does in close range around here. And if I feel the wind die down a little bit, then we'll try to take it to another area. So not knowing this quad at all, we're going to keep things simple and see how it handles the weight first, especially in the wind, and we'll go from there. Now, I have to tell you, like I said, the setup does not weigh very much at all. I have not added very much weight to this quad at all. Everything that I put on was very light. So let me go ahead and bind this, get everything set up. I'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, as you can see, I have FPV on the screen here. I have 7 satellites. I'm going to go ahead and unlock it. And this is going to be kind of hard to fly like this, but I hope you guys can see it. And we're going to cruise around the field. I have good FPV. I'm hoping you guys can see this all the time. I really need to concentrate on what I'm doing, so bear with me here. But let's get this thing in the air. It had no problem lifting that up at all. Let's make sure it's got a nice stable lock. As you can see it in the background there. It's fluctuating a little bit because of the wind, so let's take it up a little bit. It's barely having any problem lifting this at all, guys. FPV signal's holding strong. That wind is blowing pretty hard, and it still seems to handle it. It is making the barometer bounce a little bit. But let's go ahead and take this out a little ways and see what happens here. We'll just take it nice and slow so you guys can see what's going on here. Yeah, it's windy out here, guys. I'm just going to cruise at free mode without staring at the FPV just because it's so windy. But I do have a nice solid signal on the FPV. I'm just going to cruise it around here. Doing just fine all the way across the field. Still have solid FPV. Let's start to turn it here a little bit. Should be able to see the net now, yes. I'm having no breakups whatsoever. Cruising just fine. Let's go ahead and turn it here. Let's take it all the way to the end of the field here. It's getting blown into the trees a bit. Go ahead and pick up the pace. So yeah, the wind is definitely affecting things out here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Give me a sec here. I'll try to focus in on the camera again. Let me see if I can get this to focus, man. This is horrible lighting out here. It's just not good. All right. Should be able to see it again here. Let's go ahead and take it to the end of the field. It is handling the weight just fine. Does not seem to have any problems. All the way at the end of the field now. FPV still holding strong, going over the top of the net. Little windy over there. Let's go ahead and turn it this way. There we go. Yep, it was very windy down there. It was having to push that wind pretty hard. Let's bring it back this way over the top of the net. Back towards us. FPV holding nice and strong. Looks good. There doesn't seem to be much jello effect in it. Let's go ahead and start the recording. All right. So I'm going to start the recording. Aim down at myself here. Bring it a little bit underneath this tree so you guys can see me. Hey, There you go. You can see me on the screen, I think. Excellent. Let's take it out here now. I don't know if it's recording yet. How do I tell here? Do I hold it down? There we go. Now we're recording. Let's bring it back in for one more quick check out me. There we go. You guys should be able to see me now. Excellent. Let's go ahead and take it out here. It is handling this weight just fine, you guys. After I broke the motors in, it seems to be doing just fine. I'm not having to give it much throttle to keep it in the air. It's flying really well. It's a little jerkier than the 501S, that's for sure. But we're cruising right along. I can see on the FPV screen and physically fly it this way. I am flying strictly FPV right now with the wind dying down. Let's go ahead and cruise around the back of the soccer net here. Raise it up a little bit more. Cruise over the top of it. Boom. So the FPV signal is working great. I'm having flutters, but I think that's the antenna kind of rocking around. I am flying strictly FPV right now. It's doing just fine, guys. Very surprised. Let's come to this side of the soccer net here. Start my turn. Start my turn. Continue arcing into the turn. Beautiful. Seems to do just fine, you guys. I'm getting some glitches, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that's the antenna just kind of hanging and waving around there a bit. Seems to be holding up, though. Let's go ahead and slow down. Come down. Come down. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Came down a little too fast there. We'll chill right there. What's up? So FPV is working strong. It seems to be doing just fine. Raise it up a little bit again. I'm having some fluttering, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that's the antenna kind of hanging out there, so not too bad. You can definitely fly this FPV this way, so. All right, I'm coming in for a landing. I apologize if it was a little too bright to see out here, guys. Coming in for a landing. And we're gonna set her down right there. Beautiful. Disarm the motors. And there you go. You can see me on the screen. What do you think? It worked out great. All right. See you guys in a bit. All right. So now that I've done my FPV flying and I can still see myself, we're going to go ahead and free fly this. Even though it's still pretty windy, we're going to take this out and buzz it around the field a little bit. It does not take much power to get up there at all holding that camera or the nails. So I think this is a good setup. As you can see, it's fighting a lot of wind right now. You guys can probably hear that in the microphone. It's very windy out here. It's really having to put up a good fight. And I'm serious, guys. It is very windy out here. It just picked up really nasty wind. So let's take this around and cruise it. I'm going to stand up and cruise FPV so I can see what I'm doing here. You guys probably won't be able to see this. I will try to follow the quad. This FPV seems to be doing pretty darn good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform a range test if I can here. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up and send it down the field over the soccer field and hit return to home and see how far I can get out of the FPV. All right. So let me bring it over this way. Oh, it's telling me the batteries are dead here. I don't even want to test that. I would have activated RTH and the batteries would have been dying. So let's go ahead and land her. Alright, well that's disappointing. The batteries died so quick there. So, anyways, we'll have to see what kind of flight time it gets without the camera and setup. But, you know, I had it in the air for a good minute there, probably 7 minutes or so. 6 or 7 minutes, and then I just took it for another flight. So, height, 91. Well, that's inaccurate. Okay, I see what it's saying. I see. That's the heading mode. I gotcha. And then it's not telling me. Oh, I see how this works. The telemetry is funky on this. RX is telling me it's got 2 bars now. Well, I know it doesn't, so we're going to unplug this, and I'll see you guys back at the house. Alright, guys, so I'm back at the house now, and if you'll notice, I have my screen recorder running. That is because I wanted to show you this. It actually takes... it takes video in AVI format. So as you can see, I'm having to convert the video on my cell phone using a media converter over to MP4 so I can actually use it with my editing program, which really kind of sucks that I have to do that. But it also makes me aware that most editing programs are not going to like the AVI format. So if you're going to be using something like Power Director for your cell phone, like I do, editing all my videos on my cell phone, be aware that you're going to have to convert it from AVI to MP4 to be able to use it first, which takes about 10 minutes depending on how long your flight is. So if you used over a gig, which is like 8 minutes of flight time, right? If you used over a gigabyte, you're looking at 20 minutes of convert time, which really sucks. But I just wanted to show that to you guys. While this is converting, I have an opportunity to talk to you about how things went before I upload this footage. So basically, I got about 7 minutes of flight with the camera in high winds. It was pretty darn windy today, which was unfortunate. I would have loved to have taken it up high in the air, but the way it was slamming those palm trees, I was just really fearful of taking it up that high. So, and the whole time it was definitely ridiculously having to fight some wind, so that was really depressing. But it is what it is. It was a good flight. I got about 7 minutes out of it with the camera running for about 2.5 minutes. I forgot to start it when I started the film, but I did run the camera for about 2.5 minutes, and I had solid FPV the whole time. It never fell off, like just blacked out at all. And I think if I mount the antenna a little better so it's not moving around, I won't get all that fluttering. So I covered the whole soccer field around a couple times, and it flew just fine. I never lost FPV once. So I would say that is a good setup. Now, I was talking to Rudy L., and Rudy was saying, well, why not use FPV goggles? You can. I don't see a problem with that. I prefer staring at monitor screens to FPV goggles. It's just preference. I believe that you probably could tune FPV goggles into that camera. Being the fact that camera is only $21, all you'd have to do is put the nails on it and the camera, and then that's it. You're done as long as you have goggles. But I did supply a link in my other video for a screen that you can purchase for, so basically $50 for the camera and the screen plus the charge cord. So if you wanted to go that route, you would buy the quad for $80, and then you would purchase the FPV kit and mount that screen to the controller. That's completely up to you. If you guys want to do it that way, do it that way. I just feel that I already had the G-Tang FPV watch, and I knew how good the receiver was, so I figured I would just use my watch as opposed to buying the entire kit. I just purchased the camera, the standalone camera, and attached that to the bottom. So, like I said, completely up to you guys. I have offered the camera on there just by itself and the link to purchase just the cord to charge the camera, or I've offered the entire kit on there for $50, which is the same price you would pay to buy the watch and the camera together. I just feel that the FPV watch already had it, so it seemed pointless to buy the entire kit for no reason. So that is my reasoning. How did it fly? It flew good. It was windy. It was a little more windy than I wanted it to be, but it did fly good. So I'm not, it's not killing me to say that. It did fly good. And I was impressed by getting the 7 minutes of flight time. It'll be interesting to see what happens when I take the camera off and go ahead and do the same test. Now, I can't make the same wind conditions, but I doubt I would get more than an extra 2 minutes of flight, even if that was the case. So, the nails I used were aluminum nails, and they were very lightweight, and if I had my scale, I don't know, I can't find my scale. I was gonna weigh the camera to show you guys what that weighed. It barely weighs anything. It's very thin plastic, a very small battery. Just it's very thin. It doesn't weigh much at all. So I can't see it really affecting the motors too much any more than it normally would. So. This is Drone Worship, guys. I know you want to see that footage. I apologize for the lighting. It was super bright today. I know you couldn't really make out the FPV screen. I apologize for that. To me, it looked really clear. I had no issues with it, so yeah. Anyways, Drone Worship, I'm out. Hope you guys enjoyed that flight. People are asking me why would I do this. Well, the comparison here is that the H502S is like $180 to $200. And if you're going to spend that kind of money, I just suggest you buy the 501S. But if you want to just do a really simple setup for $130, then buy the 502E, attach a 200 milliwatt camera to it like I did, and get yourself a decent receiver, or just buy that kit. And it has a patch antenna built into the monitor that comes with the camera for $50. So you get the camera and the monitor for $50, and then you just mount that to the controller with epoxy or however you want to do it, a screw system, however. It's all up to you guys. All right, Drone Worship, I'm out. Toodaloo.
Give yourself to the dark side.